Why do you build me up? Buttercup, baby, just to let me down and mess me around, and the worst of all.
What is going on, guys? I am back with yet another review of a day at an amusement park, and this time I will be discussing May 22nd, 2021, which was opening day 2021 at our main home park, Dorney Park. And it was an amazing opening day at Dorney, let me just say that. And it was the most amazing opening day we've ever had at Dorney. And so, anyways, let's just get right into talking about this day. So when EB and I first entered the park, it was before opening even, so when we entered the park, did the questionnaire, all that, we walked on the main midway, and we on our way to Talon, we stopped at some cones because they hadn't opened that midway yet. The antique carousel was the only thing open before, like, the park even opened, and so anyways, we waited by the cones, and as soon as they removed the cones, EB and I just ran to Talon in a crowd of people. And boy, oh boy, it was our first time running straight to a ride at opening. We had always been imagining that, and now we finally got to do it at Dorney's opening day in 2021. And not only that, but we were the first freaking train on Talon for the season, which was absolutely lit, to be honest. And I was one of the first people to be earthing on Talon in 2021, which was absolutely lit. And I thought I was the first one to be earthing on Talon for the 2021 season at first, but then when we got off, I realized that some other lady had been earthing on it, so me and that lady were the first two people to be earthing on Talon for the 2021 season, which is an absolutely amazing title to hold because, you know, I love earthing on inverted rides. And so anyways, after we rode Talon, we rode Dodgem, and the steering wheel felt a little freaking dusty to me. Like, my gosh, it's never felt that dusty before. And so anyways, we took our traditional Dodgem opening day selfie, which turned out great, like always. And so anyways, that was an okay ride on Dodgem. And so anyways, after Dodgem, we headed to Wave Swinger, my second earthing ride of the day, which was a really good ride on Wave Swinger. And yeah, and so anyways, after our ride on Wave Swinger, we rode Kaleidoscope, where we experienced a really freaking slow ride up. Like, my gosh, that was the worst operations we have ever encountered, was at Kaleidoscope on opening day 2021. Like, my gosh, this ride up took so slow. Like after a certain amount of minutes passed by, he was still checking the red section. Like, oh man. And so, anyways, after that ride on Kaleidoscope, and it was a horrible ride on Kaleidoscope too, because in the beginning it was jittering a bit. And so anyways, after that, we were originally gonna eat at Clucks and Frank's, since I still haven't eaten there yet. But like, then we changed our plans, and then talked to Mike by Thunder Canyon, and then after that we headed to Clucks and Frank's, which was a really good meal there. I got the shrimp basket, and you know, Chicken Shack is one of my favorite restaurants at Dorney, so it was good to get back there. So it was a good change of plans, and so I could get my usual shrimp basket there. Shrimp baskets at Chicken Shack are always good. And so anyways, after that really good meal at Chicken Shack, we decided to sit by Meteor to eat our Chicken Shack meals because it is back open this season. Like, my gosh, I was so happy when I first saw it freaking running, like, my gosh. And so Evie and I decided to sit by Meteor and eat our meals, so then we could throw away our meals when we were done and hop straight on Meteor. And, but of course we had to get in a little line first. And so anyways, after we threw away our food, we actually got on Meteor for the first time since 2019. And let me tell you, it was a good ride back on Meteor. And plus, it was my first time ever going earthing on it too. And it was my it was my third earthing ride of the day. And it was just so good to be back on Meteor. And so anyways, after our first ride back on Meteor since 2019, we headed to Hydra for our first ride on that for the season, and that was my fourth earthing ride of the day, and it was a good ride back on Hydra. Like, we sat towards the back, and it was good. It ran really good today, along with Talon, both B&Ms. My gosh, they were running so good that day. And so anyways, after our first ride on Hydra for the season, we headed to Dominator Red, which was a really good ride back on that. I got a little pop of airtime at the top like always. And so anyways, after Dominator Red, we tried to get on Dominator Green, and here's what happened. So we already boarded the ride, and I already took off my freaking shoes and socks, and this is what happens. They unlock the restraints and tell us that it's temporarily down for maintenance. Like, my gosh, like, I had taken off my shoes and socks for absolutely nothing because of that. Like, Dominator Green experienced issues right as we got on it. Like, my gosh. But thankfully, we ended up getting on it later in the day. I'll get more details about that coming soon. And so anyways, after that failure on Dominator Green, we decided to get straight to Possessed, which is also back open for this season. And let me tell you, Possessed was lit. It was lit getting back on it, and it was my first ever time earthing on Possessed. And it was a really good ride back on it. Such a good ride back on it. We got on it in the 8th row, and it was such a good ride back on it that we decided to hop back on it a second time. And this time, we got the back row, and that was another great ride on Possessed. And so, anyways, after those two back-to-back rides on Possessed, both of which I went earthing on, of course. And by the way, Possessed was my 5th earthing ride of the day, I believe. Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Let me think for a second. Talon, Wave Swinger, Kaleidoscope, Meteor. No, you can't go earthing on Kaleidoscope. Talon, Wave Swinger, Meteor, Hydra, Dominator Red was my 5th, actually. Possessed was my 6th. So I screwed up on that one. I'm gonna go my bad. And so anyways, Possessed was my 6th earthing ride of the day. And so anyways, after Possessed, we got a drink from the water fountain, and we headed to Cedar Creek Flyers for our first ride on that for the season, and it was a good one. And so anyways, after that ride on Cedar Creek Flyers, we headed to Revolution, which was my 7th earthing ride of the day, and it was a good ride on it, but although towards the end, I got on the low side, and when the ride-off asked how the ride was at the end, those guys started screaming, and my screaming blended in with them, which was so funny. And so anyways, after that good ride on Revolution, we headed to Steel Force, which was a really good ride back on it, and we ran into Black Train Fan again. And so anyways, after that ride on Steel Force, I got a drink from the water fountain, and then we headed to Scrambler, which was a good ride in on that. And after Scrambler, we went on Thunderhawk. That was a good ride in on that. Although operations took like way too long to get on that. And so, anyways, after Thunderhawk, we waited a bit of a long time to get a refill at Center Stage Fries, I believe. Yeah. And so, anyways, after we finally got that refill, after waiting a bit of a long time, we headed to Demon Drop, which was a really good ride back on that. And so, anyways, after Demon Drop, we tried to ride Dominator Green once again, and it was freaking closed. Like, my gosh. And so, anyways, then we decided to get in line for the whip, but then we decided it wasn't really worth it, so we got out of line for the whip and headed to Apollo, which we did get on, and it was a good first ride back on Apollo. And so, anyways, after that ride on Apollo, we headed to Music Express, which was a decent ride on that. And then we rode Enterprise. That was a decent ride on it. And then, after Enterprise, we did Meteor once again because I wanted to get a re-ride on it. Because here's the story of how that re-ride on Meteor came about. So, on Apollo, I was debating on whether I should still ride whether Evie and I should still ride Thunder Canyon or not, because it got a little bit cooler out, and before it was really hot, but we were focused on like doing the coasters and stuff, and we were just too hyped to get back on Possessed and all the other coasters, So anyways, after Demon Drop, I started debating on whether Evie and I should still go on Thunder Canyon or not. And on Apollo, I decided that I would go on it, but that I would like to re-ride Meteor beforehand, because I really wanted to do a challenge where I would walk barefoot all the way from Meteor to Thunder Canyon, which actually ended up happening after that re-ride on Meteor. And that re-ride on Meteor, by the way, was okay because we got stapled in a lot. And so, anyways, after that re-ride on Meteor, like I said, I walked barefoot all the way from Meteor to Thunder Canyon. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, I crossed Cedar Creek Cannonballs track barefoot. Which was really funny. And so, anyways, Evie and I had a really good ride on Thunder Canyon then afterwards. And the guys on one of the rafts in front of us started doing a chant. I don't remember how it went. And so, but it was a funny chant they did in one of the rafts in front of us on Thunder Canyon. And it was Evie and I's first time getting on a water ride in the dry park on opening day. And that was an absolutely lit ride on Thunder Canyon. That decision I made on Apollo was freaking worth it. And Evie got the most of the waterfalls, which knocked his afro down. And so, anyways, yeah, it's usually me that gets the waterfalls, but Evie got most of them this time, which knocked his afro down, which was crazy. And so, anyways, after that ride on Thunder Canyon, we headed to Rita's, where I, off camera, got a small-sized strawberry Italian ice, which was really good, and Evie got like a large chocolate milkshake. And so, anyways, after that good Rita's refreshment we ate at Burger Barn, where we both got the crispy chicken sandwich with the onion rings, and that meal was really good. And it was it was a good first time eating at Burger Barn for the season. And Burger Barn is my second favorite restaurant at Dorney. And so, anyways, after Burger Barn, we finally went on Dominator Green. And this time, it was successful, you guys. And it was my 8th earthing ride of the day. Ninth time earthing on a ride for the day. And so, because we went on Meteor 2 times, so this successful ride on Dominator Green we had was my 9th time earthing on a ride for the day. And because Dominator Green is running at full capacity now, like all the other rides are doing this season finally, we were able to get that view of Talon and all the rides on the Upper Midway and the parent pickup drop off parking lot where my parents used to drop me off before EB started driving me to parks, and the main parking lot, of course. And I was so glad to be able to get that view again, and it was a really good first ride back in general on Dominator Green. And so anyways, after Dominator Green, I did something crazy. So EB wanted to go straight to Possessed, which meant I had no time to change back into my shoes and socks after Dominator Green. So I had to walk through Possessed's queue line barefoot in order to make that successful. And it was so funny when I walked through Possessed's queue line barefoot, because at first I felt like a little nervous about doing it, because I always thought you weren't going to be able to get away with walking through rides' queue lines barefoot, but EB suggested I walk through Possessed's queue line barefoot since we wanted to go straight there. And so I actually tried walking through a ride's queue line barefoot, and it wasn't that bad, and I got away with it, and that was good. And so anyways, after that Larot we had on Possessed, we headed to Good Time Gifts, where I bought this Steel Force Nano Coaster model, which I will be unboxing in tomorrow's video, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And I got a Dorney Park tie-dye t-shirt, which looked really cool. And I got this laser cup to show my support for laser. And so, anyways, yeah, R.I.P. Laser, 1986 to 2008. And it's in Germany now, so I wanted to show my support for it. And so anyways, that basically concluded then opening day 2021 at Dorney Park. So make sure to comment down below your thoughts on this video. And of course, make sure to check out my merch store on Bonfire that I have made this past summer. It has face masks, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, tank tops, coffee mugs, tote bags, everything you could possibly want that Bonfire allows you to sell. So make sure to go check out that merch store I have. I'll have a link in the description. And I will see you in the next